therefore been able to uplift about 25 tons of cargo. Remember, we normally uplift upwards of 150 tons of cargo. So from a strike perspective, so far, we have about 20 pilots who have availed themselves for duty. We thank the pilots who continue to support the airline's operations. For pilots who haven't reported on duty, we have initiated disciplinary process, like I said yesterday. At the same time, we have also advertised today for recruitment of pilots, both captains and first officers. So we'd like to urge Kenyans and other pilots who would like to join us to please apply. You will see it in both LinkedIn and other areas. So far, there is a phenomenon we have seen. We've seen 132 pilots who have registered with our operations team to be unfit to fly. So unfit to fly meaning that they have now called our operations department and have said that they are unfit. In other words, they are unwell to fly. And as part of the CBA, they are allowed to do that for 48 hours. They have a 48-hour window without providing any evidence of sickness. Suffice to say, 132 pilots being sick is of course abnormal. It is out of whack completely with the normal trends. So we believe that this is a means of trying to avoid coming to work. That's what we believe. And to protect themselves against disciplinary action. So we've been able to read through that. It's quite obvious what they're trying to do. And part of this 132 is also the CALPA officials who have done that. So that is just a brief statement of where we are today. We have said before that we are ready to talk to CALPA. However, now time has changed. We want them first to go back to work with immediate effect before we can have any discussions whatsoever. In any case, like I said, we've already started disciplinary action and we've already started recruiting new pilots. So those who are still interested in working with Kenya Airways should very quickly report back to work with immediate effect. That is the end of my statement.
Question, Alan.
Yeah. We leave it open because we've started the disciplinary process, so we don't know how many of them will exit. So it's open for now. I have just said there is no negotiation. I want them to go back to work because they're costing us a lot of money. They're sabotaging this country. They have been belligerent. They were trying to hold us hostage. And now I'm saying let them go back to work before we have any other discussion. Because the longer they stay out there, the more we don't have money to pay even their salaries. So they need to go back to work if they want this airline to continue functioning.
Alan, the pilots have a briefing ongoing right now, and what they're saying is that the disciplinary action that is taking place currently by KQ and also the advertising of their positions shows bad faith.
It does not show bad faith. They have refused to come back to work. How do you expect us as an airline to continue functioning when people have unlawfully refused to come back to work? Number one. Number two, we have repeatedly, not once, not twice, I don't even know how many times we've told them, please come back to work. So how can it be that it's bad faith while we have told them repeatedly, come back to work so that we can continue operating, so that we can talk? Right now, it is, it's very late right now in the day. So all we want from them now is to come back to work. Once they're at work, we can start discussions.
Alan, your reputation as a national carrier is at stake here. Many of your passengers that you speak with are really disappointed, and they say going forward they may not consider Kenya Airways. The pilots have spoken and they're saying you are the ones who are not being honest. Where now then you now draw the line to find a meeting point? Are you saying you will fire all of them and it's not possible?
Let me just be clear. You see, there comes a time when it's very difficult for you to have discussions with people who are belligerent. Okay? we have given counter offers upon counter offers upon counter offers. Now, I'm beginning to wonder what exactly is the purpose of this strike. Okay? There might be another motive to this strike. Because if we have given concessions and we are saying we're ready to talk further, please come back to work. They themselves, CALPA themselves, to their members, in a message that I saw, were saying that we were 90% agreed. So if you're 90% agreed and we're telling you to come back to work so that we can save this airline money, and then you refuse, what do you expect us to do? We have got to find a way of surviving. We cannot be held hostage forever. So that's my point.
What about your passengers, those ones who are affected now?
So what we're doing now is, for now, like I said, is to try as the much we can to connect them using our partner airlines, using the few flights that we have mounted, okay, in the best possible way we can. There are other things that are also in the background that we're trying to do to try and get extra capacity for us to fly these passengers. Now, the reputational damage that you referred to is true. We will have to rebuild our reputation because of what has happened because of this strike. But that will have to be a slow one. Yes, it is true, we are suffering, but there is no way we can get into discussions with people who have refused to budge even an inch. All pilots in Kenya Airways are CALPA members. No, that's the other thing. You see, they have disobeyed a lawful court order. That's the other problem. They have disobeyed, and not because they didn't know that it was a court order, but because they thought that it is okay to disobey a court order. So we have gone to court and we have filed contempt proceedings against them to say this group of CALPA officials have disobeyed a lawful order that came from this court. And as a result of that, they have cost us millions of shillings, not just in loss of revenue, but also in terms of reputation and all that goes with that.
Something else is the plan for turnaround time to train pilots, let's say application, training, proficiency tests, fleet management, and also now trying to place them, let's say Embraer 73, 78. How long will it take? Because now
it will take a long time. It's going to be a painful process. But listen, sometimes you have got to take a pain to make a step forward. You cannot be held hostage. Actually, this is a very dangerous trend. If we allow this to happen in every sector, we as a country will be in trouble. We cannot allow a few people, just because of lack of understanding or being selfish, to hold the country hostage. We have got to break this at some point and say, let's take the pain now, but prepare it for posterity. Because we have a country to run. We have an airline to run. Yeah, so it's going to be expensive. It's going to be painful. But, you know, unless the pilots realize that, okay, we're in trouble as a country. I mean, they tried this in 2016. We buckled, right? Some of the problems we're experiencing now is because of that. This time round, we are saying to them, go back to work for this moment. Your problems that you have presented, some of them are valid. We'll address them. We have even tried to start addressing them, but you cannot hold us hostage. You cannot hold these passengers hostage. Okay? It's not fair. It's not fair to the passengers. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to themselves. It's not fair to other employees. Our employees are tired. They have been working flat out to try and address this situation.
The couple officials are saying that Kenya Airways management has refused to sit down with them.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm using a very strong word. Okay, that is untrue. That is the right word to use. That is untrue. And you have read the Ministry of Labour. Have you read the Ministry of Labour statement? It is very clear. That's the reason they released it, because they spent many hours with us. We were there. We conceded. CALPA did not concede 1 inch. And that is why we are saying it feels like this strike has other motives. Because if someone sits with you and they give you concessions, there's an arbiter there who's saying, we can continue these discussions. I will oversee. This is an independent arbiter. And you're still holding to your views. Then, it's very difficult. So that particular propaganda they're using